Have any of you ever drinking too much coffee in anticipation of having a leg up on your day, only to get that terrible crashing feeling 3 hours later? You might want to change what you're drinking in order to get the desired result you want. I want to talk to you guys about the ancient beverage called yerba mate. As college students, we always are looking at ways to get the extra boost of energy to get through those long-winded lectures or those grueling term papers that we have to write. There's no limits to the things that we want to do that. I used to be an avid coffee drinker for many, many years. Until high school, I discovered yerba mate from my Spanish teacher, and he allowed me to kind of branch off, and since implementing that into my daily routine, I have noticed a very, very big improvement in my productivity overall. So today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about yerba mate's regional origins in South America, its domestication as a plantation crop, as well as its general evolution over time. So, there we go. Yerba mate originates from the Guayas region of South America, which is Paraguay, Uruguay, and Argentina. The Guarani people that reside in the Guayas region use the crop as a cold, a currency, as well as just a beverage in their prehistoric exchanges with those cultures of that time. Ross W. Jameson article about caffeine dependencies in the modern world states, in the Americas, there were several plants besides cacao that contained caffeine then and were known to indigenous inhabitants, none of which ever reached commercial distribution in Europe, one of which was yerba mate. Early Spanish settlers traveling along the Paraná-Paraguay river system encountered indigenous locals that used the leaves from the holly tree to create the mate beverage. Just like cacao, just like the discovery of cacao, the crop was inhabited and taken as a habit from those who they had conquered. But unlike cacao, yerba mate was not domesticated upon the discovery by the European settlers. An online article by Native Leaf entitled Evil to Supergood, The History of Yerba Mate states, domestication of the herb began in 1650 through the 1670s. Despite the economic value brought about by the higher production, as well as creation and exploitation of commercial markets, yerba mate domestication as a plantation plant marked the darkest part of yerba mate's history. The domestication of yerba mate as a plantation crop led to a commercial market for it. However, the widespread rise in consumption and demand for the tea led to the forced labor of Guarani Indians to clear forests and harvest the crops as well as water the crops and prepare the mate. The bourbon reforms of 1778, as well as the whiskey reforms of 1780, helped open new markets and exportation for yerba mate, as well as to export the products to Europe, which basically meant that it could get a whole new market for the product in Europe. Although it was sold regionally throughout all of South America, it really never got the popularity that cacao, caffeine, and other herbal teas had gained in European markets, unfortunately. The mate gourd is basically the most common and traditional way that yerba mate has been consumed for ages and ages. It basically consists of a hollowed out gourd and then a bombilla straw, which is what you see here. And just because that is because the gourd is a dried out version and you have the loose leaf mate tea. So in order to drink it, you have to have a special kind of receptacle straw to use to get the filters out of the liquid so you can drink it properly. Although, since its conception, yerba mate has evolved so many different ways to basically contain all of these different ways you can drink it, the mate gourd still remains the most popular global use of yerba mate. So in the last 5 years or so, yerba mate has come to almost not replace, but become a very viable option to coffee as a caffeine source in America. Companies like Guayaki, Marley, and other brands have made yerba mate a sensation in America and provided many, many different ways that you can ingest it. Although the loose blend tea still exists and is very, very popular, there's now cans, carbonated beverages, as well as many, many other options to drink the tea. When I was in high school, I took a trip to South America and lived in Costa Rica and the Guayas region of South America for just around 3 months. When I was living there, I was able to really kind of take in all the cultures that I was living in, and how yerba mate, among many other natural products, was such a important source of regional economy and regional well-being just all around. Yerba mate and many other products really stimulates the economy in these countries, so it's an important thing to have around. I personally have my own yerba mate gourd and bombilla straw that I got over the course of my time that I was staying in South America. And I still use it from time to time, although more now it's just kind of like a memento. Anyone can purchase yerba mate gourd via an online retailer like Amazon, or just wherever you can find it if you look online. But when you get the mate gourd, you have to be really, really careful as to cure it. So upon receiving your gourd, you must brew a batch of the tea and let it sit in the gourd for at least 48 hours so that you can use it properly and not get any of the contaminants that were left in the gourd during the drying process. I personally have a mild obsession with yerba mate, as does my girlfriend. We drink it almost every single day, depending on what our day is going to look like and how busy or how much of a demand we have. Sometimes I'll drink more than like 4 or 5 cups a day, so a little bit of an obsession, maybe a little bit more than an obsession. Although I still love the flavor of coffee and I drink it from time to time, I really now value mate a lot more because of the clear and level-headedness that it gives me and just my productivity. I don't ever feel that crashing feeling that I did with coffee, or the jittery or nervousness, despite giving this speech right now. So, during this speech, I briefly informed you about the regional origins of yerba mate, its enhancement and evolution over time, as well as its domestication as a plantation crop, let alone also very many different varieties of consumption that you can have from the yerba mate. If you'd like to learn more about yerba mate, I suggest going to your local health food store and asking about what types of the product they may carry. Usually they have at least 3 to 4 different types, including the tea and the cans. So if you're tired of having that crashing feeling from coffee, or like your numerous energy drinks or what have you, I suggest that you give Mighty Mate a try. You can even buy cans of this Guayaki yerba mate right here in the Caden Cafe in Santa Monica College. Thank you.